Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we have this whole bag full of pens, 55 pens to be exact, within this bag. We're going to be writing with them, testing them, and then like rating them, I guess, sort of, in like a tier list sort of thing, because I couldn't think of a way to like sort them, so I didn't really want to. I don't know. This was the idea. But let's get into it. So we are going to be using this book here to do all the tests and writing stuff in. So it has like different textured and thickness of paper and stuff. So it says like pencil. It says ink. And then white ink, I think. White ink. And then colored pencil. Charcoal. I can't do writing with my left finger. Pastel. Feels so weird. And watercolor. And acrylic. So we're going to be using a couple different pages, a couple different textures and thickness in this book to do the different tests. Okay. So we're just going to be doing a couple different tests with these pens. We're going to start with all 55 and do a simple kind of like line test. And then we're going to eliminate half of them, put those into the tier list, or I think a little over half. We'll have 25 remaining pens that we'll do a bit of a longer test on, and then eliminate a little more than half of those. We'll have the final 10, and then all the other 45 will have been sorted into the tier list, and then we'll do some tests for the final 10, and then we'll put those in the list. So just a way to make this not a 3.5 hour long video, because I don't have 3.5 hours to record this. So hopefully you enjoy. There's some good sounds, so let's get to writing. So this is going to be with voiceover on this video, just because the mic placement was a little weird. So let's get started. Here we have our pencil case. Sorry if you can hear some talking in the background. My brother is playing games on the other side of this wall, so if you hear it, sorry. So now let's open this up. A little zipper. We're gonna open this guy up and look at all of the pens that we have today. Here we have it, 55 different pens that I've collected over the last few months, finding them and buying a couple and stuff like that. So these are all the pens that we're going to be testing today. And yeah. Okay, so let's pull these out here now. Just make some sounds with the individual pens, or as a group as well, but outside of the bag. And then this pen also is a little bit special, because it has this little stopper here at the top, but that's because it has another function than just being a pen. As in the front here, it has a light, which is pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. I've never seen that on a pen before, so maybe we will end up using this in some videos in the future. So there you go. Pretty cool pen. Okay, so now let's move these out of the way and let's get started. And here is the sketchbook once again with all the different things. We have the pencil, ink, white ink, colored pencil, charcoal, pastel, watercolor, and acrylic, like I said before. So we're going to do some triggers and sounds. Okay, so we're going to open this up and we're going to do the first test in this pencil section. I used to use this for like art class or whatever, so there's some random little stuff in here from then, but I'm just going to use blank page. Oops, went a little too far. And we're just going to open up to a blank page here, and this is where we are going to do our first test. Alright, so now let's bring out the pens here, and we'll start with this pen here. A Tool. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but this is more of a fine tip pen, so it should be a little bit smaller of a stroke. Oof, a little rough on that one. This paper doesn't really like certain kinds of pens, I think. It's kind of a rough-ish paper, so certain pens don't feel that nice on it. But there is the Tool. Not too bad. A little bit rough on some parts. This next pen, I don't know what the brand is or anything, but it is a Disney pen. It says Tradition and something. Honestly, I don't know. Let me look at it. I have it here. I have it here with me. It says Tradition Character. It's characters. I don't know. Tradition characters. Okay. I don't think this is the pen's fault itself. It's just this pen exactly, but a little rough. It is thicker, because it's not a fine tip pen, but, you know, it's a little old, I would seem, maybe. But overall, not too bad. This is the third pen. It just says Los Angeles. That's the only real information I got. It's one of the twisty pens. Pretty nice, pretty heavy, pretty solid feel, but also a little old. So the lines aren't really showing up as good, but pretty smooth feeling overall, I would say. It's a little bit in between the other two in terms of thickness. A little bit less than that one. But, yeah, not too bad overall. Pretty smooth, pretty nice feeling. Next up, we have a pretty standard pen, I would say. This is a Papermate Inkjoy gel pen. So, these are going to be one of the gel pens. We have many gel pens today. They all kind of feel similar, which is weirdly rough on this paper. It's a little thicker than the first one, a little less thick than the other one, but overall pretty smooth, not too bad. There are other gel pens that feel worse on this paper. So this is a pretty standard little regular pen. I assume it's Bic, but this is from a hotel. And I thought it was going to be blue. Turns out it is not blue. It is black. Why it has blue, I guess it's just because of the hotel. So, kind of sad about that. Overall, doesn't really feel very good. Feels pretty cheap. Like I said, thought it was going to be blue. Wasn't blue. Sad. Overall, not terrible. Not very good. Next, this pen from the Columbia Counseling Center. I don't know. Pretty nice build. Has a little stylus thing on top. Doesn't seem to have a clip. Maybe it broke off. Not sure. This pen, I think, was somewhere in the middle in terms of thickness as well as in terms of smoothness. Nothing too crazy, nothing to write home about. But, you know, pretty standard pen, I would say, but a nice build. Next is a very, very standard pen. This is just one of the very simple big pens. You get like 50 of these for like $2. I don't even know. And it feels like it costs not very good, but surprisingly a lot better than I thought it was going to be. In terms of how it shows up on the paper, pretty cheap. In terms of how it feels, not super terrible, but, you know, very cheap. So, not very good. Plus, it's smudged. I didn't really do that test with the other ones, but, you know, I touched it, smudged a little bit, so, not very good. Okay, now we're going to do it over here on the other side so I could use less paper. This next pen is a true red pen, so maybe it'll be red. That's kind of cool. Never seen this pen before, but yeah, it's a bit more of a fine tip pen as well. Doesn't show up very good. It's just not been used probably in a while. But you look at that, it is not like it says red. It's black. I don't know why. These people need to work on their marketing. But either way, not a terrible pen. It didn't feel too bad. It kind of had some parts of it where it would be less dark than other parts, but, you know, overall, not a terrible pen. Okay, this next one is a green pen, hopefully, I would assume, because it has a lot of green on it. It doesn't really say much on it, just says Pentel right here, I believe. Yes, Pentel. So that's just the brand, doesn't really say anything about model or anything like that, but yeah. Looking for green here. Let's hope. And what is that? Is that green? Honestly, I couldn't tell that. I can't really tell now. It is not green. It is black. I'm disappointed. These people need to stop putting colors on their pens if they're not colored pens. And it doesn't really feel that good, to be honest. It doesn't really feel that smooth. Pretty bad pen overall. And it's not green. So, overall, kind of a disappointing experience. Next up is a also very standard pen, at least for me in our house, is the Pilot G2 pen, a gel pen, very standard, finally Walmart, Target, everywhere it sells pens. Surprisingly, did not feel as good as I thought it was going to. I like this pen, I write with it a lot, it's probably one of my main use pens, but pretty squiggly lines on this paper. Overall didn't feel too smooth when I was writing with it. Like I said, this paper is a little bit more on the rough side, but, you know, I was expecting it to feel smooth nonetheless. Not really the case. Next one is another very standard pen. This is just a Papermate, regular old cheap pen, but it is blue. So I assume it's blue. I don't remember if it's blue. It is blue. Our first actual colored pen. So that is a plus, that they actually colored it the way that the pen is colored. But writing experience, not very good at all. Doesn't really show up when I do the squiggly lines. You have to press pretty hard for it to show up. And overall, not a very nice experience. Feels very cheap, not very good. Next up, we have this Papermate pen, another Papermate, but a bit more of their expensive line. I think it's a Inkjoy pen. I don't really look, I'm not really paying attention. Overall, pretty smooth, a lot thicker. This is how I assume blue pens should look, right, in terms of thickness and color. But overall, kind of squiggly, not really a great experience on this paper. Overall, not too bad. Next up, we got this one, which is probably one of the ones that was connected to something, because it has little thingies on it. This is a 4A medium point pen, so not fine point, but also not like a regular large one. So this one, I also kind of expected to be blue, I think, and surprisingly, it was blue. Very blue, actually. A lot darker than the other blues. A little bit thicker, but on a squiggly, doesn't really show up as much. So overall, pretty good. I like the way it feels. It's very smooth for being a pretty cheap feeling pen. Not bad. Next up, we have a Sharpie S gel pen with green. These ones actually do mark it correctly. It has a little green band. It is green. Pretty fancy, pretty nice looking, but also kind of cheap. And then we got the green on there, and oh yeah, I love it. I love green. I don't know why, I just like green. And I like colored pens. When they're colored, I want them to be colored. So that's very nice that it's colored. Overall, a little bit squiggly on this paper, but you know, other pens are like that as well. So overall, pretty nice pen. I like it. Now we're going to move on to another page because we ran out of space on this one. So we're going to flip this guy over real quick. And, yeah. Next up, we have another pretty standard looking pen. Never really heard of this though. The Uni Jetstream. It is blue colored. So I expect it to be blue, and it is blue. Wow, we're on a roll these days. A lot of colors. No false marketing. But, you know, not bad. I like it. It's not just marketing, it's also a decent pen. Pretty smooth. Next pen is this one. Another Palette G2, but this time red. And you can see the ink in it. It's red. No falsification here. Didn't really show up too good. I don't think that's like the model's fault. That's just this pen in particular. And like the other one, honestly, pretty jagged feeling on this paper. I didn't like it. Yeah, I don't know. I was expecting more, to be honest. Next pen we have is a pink pen. Very surprising. Energel pen. Liquid gel pen by Pentel. I guess they make a lot of pens. But this should be our first pink one, so that's exciting. Why is it black? Why did they not? I thought it was going to be like that. Like pink or red or something. Man, these people are terrible. And pen doesn't really feel that good. Very, very, very jagged looking on this paper. Very disappointed. Next up, we have this very nice feeling pen. This is the one with the light on it. It's very hefty, very nice. Yeah, it says something on the thing. It's like Adler. I guess that's the brand. And then of course the light. Very nice. You could see what you're writing. You could use it for like medical tests. I don't know. Pretty nice pen. And then you write with it, and it stays a pretty nice pen. Nothing too crazy, but it's pretty smooth on this paper, all things considered. So this pen, very premium pen. Very nice pen. I like it. Now we have a Sharpie. This is a marker, a Sharpie. We all know what Sharpies are. Come on. It's a green color. Very thick. Very rough. I don't like how the Sharpies have this little thing where every little vertex is like way darker than the rest of it. It's better for the smooth lines or one line. Continuous. I mean, it's a Sharpie. But for this test, nothing too crazy. But for the next actual pen, we have this. A pretty much unbranded pen by Staples. I didn't really know that they made pens, but there you go. And you write with it, and you kind of wish that you didn't know. This was my fault. The squiggly line was pretty bad. Both of them were pretty bad. So these were... had to shoot a hair. These were my bad, okay? Not the pen's fault. But overall, nothing too crazy. I don't really like this pen very much at all. Pretty jagged. Yeah, not too good. Next up, we have this thick blue pen. It just has an S on it. That's like all the branding it has. Pretty nice feeling pen, but in terms of the writing, I think I was expecting better, to be honest. It's pretty jagged right here. You can see that it like lightens up as you write. So, not a very good experience. It might just be because it's low in ink, but you know, I'm testing these exact pens, not just in general. These are not like brand new, so it is what it is. Okay, next up we have this American Global Security pen. overall, it's okay, you know. It has some lightened spots, kind of rough, not bad. Next up we have this pen, Uniball 1. Sorry, he's very loud. I don't know if you can hear him. I could hear him very clearly. Sorry if you could hear him. But this pen, not too bad. I like these pens. I bought a pack of them a while back. I use them all the time. Very good. Another thick pen from something international, made in China. This also has a stylus, I believe, and then it's a twisty pen. Pretty thick and hefty, but it writes kind of I mean, I don't know. It's okay. It's smooth, but it doesn't really show up very good, so not too crazy. Next up, we have another Papermate pen. They make a lot of pens. Crazy. This one is blue, so that should be something, I guess. Man, I messed up so much on this. Overall, pretty smooth on the squiggly lines. Didn't show up in the first one, but, you know, once again, these are old pens. Okay. This one is a pretty fancy pen by Lolly Jewels. Look at these little thingies in here. Pretty nice, pretty nice. It's another twisty pen. I thought it was the twisty at the top, but it's one of the ones where it's twisty on the tip, which I honestly hate, but it is what it is. Writing with this pen, though, I don't hate. It's not too bad. A little smooth. I kind of had to push down a little bit to get it to be a little thicker, but feels pretty nice. Looks pretty nice. Still don't like the twisty tip, but, you know, not too bad. Next up is another marker. This is the Elegant White. I don't know why it's called white. It's not white. This is one of the like chisel tip markers for like calligraphy type stuff. So it's a bit different. As you can see, the chisel tip allows for, you know, variable line weight in the pencil. Sorry about how jagged these lines are. This was totally my fault. I'm not good at writing with these pens. That is my bad. This paper doesn't like these pens. But, you know, the versatility is there. But for this exact test, I don't know if it fits. Next up, we have this fancy pen by FedEx Office. A little blue and orange pen. Pretty ugly, to be honest. And writes kind of ugly, too. I don't really like it. It's kind of jagged, not too smooth. I don't know. Not very good. Next up is another just random pen from some place. Home care thing. It is red branded. It is not a red pen. Sad. But it's not a sad pen, per se. It's a little bit smoother than some of the other ones. Not too bad, you know. And then we have another one of these pens, but it's blue this time. And it is actually blue. So, big ups for that. And pretty dang smooth. Just like the other one. So yeah, pretty good. I like these pens. Next up we have this pen from El Horizon Palm Springs, which I don't know what that is, maybe like a resort. But it's a twisty pen with a click this time, so there you go. We are going to flip the page over again because we ran out of space. So let's do that first real quick. Sorry, I hit the camera, I think. I might just cut this out, but if it's still in there, then hello. Okay, new paper. You can see the other pens through the back, but, you know, I don't want to waste too much paper, so here we go. El Horizon. This one wrote like a cheap pen. I don't know. Nothing very nice about it. Kind of faded at the end. Not too smooth, but, not horrific. This one, I don't know what it says. It's like Baijinline. I don't know. I can't really see it. Very fine tip pen, though. So that should be interesting. And then I wrote on it, and I was very saddened. This pen does not like this paper. I couldn't continue. I had to stop. The pen ran out of ink. I tested all the pens before. They all had ink. Just didn't work out. This pen is from CSU SB, which is Santa Barbara, I think. I don't know. California State College, though. And yes, I love this pen. It wrote very, very smooth. I did those first lines, and it was like, wow. Very nice pen. Very smooth, even on this paper. I'm very excited about that pen. Another Pentel pen. A lot of Pentel and Papermate. And they all kind of feel the same, to be honest. This one, not too crazy. A little bit smoother, but also a little bit squiggly on the lines. Nothing too crazy. And then it also didn't show up in the first one, but that's kind of just this particular pen's fault. Next up, we have another Sharpie pen. Very nice. The clip is broken, but it is blue. So, very nice. It is a different one, by the way. Different color, different pen. And yeah, felt just like the other one. Pretty smooth, pretty thick, pretty vibrant. Good pen. Then we have another Sharpie. This one is blue this time, or like a teal turquoise thing. I don't know. Just like the other one, the vertices go crazy. And this color doesn't really show up very nicely, so for this test, nah, I don't like it. Next up, we have this pen from 4A, which I think we had before, actually. I think. But it's a different one. So, slide this up a little bit so you can see. And overall, honestly, when I looked at the pen, I thought it was going to be crap. It didn't feel too terrible. It did run out of ink, but it does look very empty. So, it's pretty much disqualification. Now, Papermate, but it's red. Very nice. And then I wrote with it, and it is very nice. I like Papermate pens. Pretty smooth, vibrant. I like it. Very nice. Next up is another Papermate pen. Jesus Christ, but this is profile ball, okay? It's different, probably. And so we wrote with this one, and it felt like a lot of the other Papermate pens. Not the very nice ones, but somewhere in the middle. Pretty smooth. Actually, I think I'm remembering this wrong. This was a very smooth pen. I liked this pen. Sorry. Very smooth. Very nice. Now, the classic black Sharpie. Oh yes. Everybody knows the black Sharpie. Get this hair out of here. Very classic. Yes. Very good. And for the black pen, you can't really see the vertice things that much. They kind of still show up as like little balls at the tips, but not too bad. On the black pen, doesn't show up that much, so pretty good for this test. Now, a Uniball Vision Elite, which I think we had one before. Maybe I'm skipping ahead. I don't know. Blue. Pretty nice. It's a little bit rougher on this paper, but, it feels pretty smooth for the most part. Not too bad. Then we have an Arteza pen, which I haven't heard of before. But maybe there'll be a pen I look for in the future, because it felt pretty smooth. Yeah, I like this pen. Now, just a pen, I don't know, just branded for the place that bought it, I guess, but yeah, not too crazy. I like the feel of the pen as a pen, but when I write with it, it kind of fades on the corners and isn't too thick. I don't really like it that much. Now we have the classic big round stick This is like even more classic than any other classic ones we showed. And oh my god, it is so much better than all the other ones. Like Jesus, this thing is a good pen. It felt very smooth on this rough paper, which is crazy. This pen is like, you get 100 of these for like $5. Wild. This pen, killer. Now we have a Friant pen. I don't know if that's actually how you say it. I just wanted to say it like that because it had the accent. Writes like crap. It's probably just this pen in particular, but very bad pen. I don't like it. I had to write very hard in order to get it to like really show up. So, not good. This is it. I was skipping ahead. Okay, so this is the second Uniball Vision Elite, but it's black this time, so it's different. Very thick. Very thick. I think it's thicker than the other one too, that you could see at the top of the screen. Very nice. Pretty thick, kind of rough on this paper, just because it's like one of the thin things. This pen was also, felt like it was broken a little bit, but I just had to twist it in a little bit more. Not bad. I like it. Now we have another very plain looking pen by Bic for Private Guard or something like that. Click her open, get to writing, and pretty standard writing experience, I suppose. Not too crazy, not too smooth, not too bad though. You know, I was expecting worse. Now we have a Cali registration, live scan and notary pen. I don't know. Another clicky, twisty pen. Not too bad. A little bit jagged on the spikes, but kind of smooth. So I like it. I don't know how it's gonna be jagged and smooth, but now we have this one from an insurance place. But I like this thing. It has a little cool design. I like it. It looks cool. But we do have to flip the page over because we ran out of space. So let's get that thing situated. And pull out this pen and write with it because that is what this video is. And yeah, this pen kind of ran out of ink. Maybe, I don't know. When I pressed harder, it showed up better. But, you know, in the beginning, not too good. So it is what it is. Next up, we have this pen, a Uniball Signo, which I assume means like signature. I don't know. This one didn't have too much ink either. I don't like the way it feels on this paper. Very rough because it's like a very fine tip and it's just not good. Now we have another Staples pen, but this is a Sonic's gel pen. And this thing, oh my god. Clicky for ASMR, crazy. It's like a thock, like a keyboard. Wow. And then it just didn't show up at all. And I was very sad. Very disappointed, as you can see. I wanted it to be a very nice pen, so I keep using it, but it is out of ink. So maybe I'll just buy more of these things. I don't know. I love the way that the clicky thing feels. Like, oh my gosh, that's so nice. But it writes like crap. So, very sad. Now we have a... Oh, crap. It's an Arteza. We already had one of these. I counted all of them. We had exactly 55. And now we have 54. So this is a very sad day for me. But we're just going to put that away and, you know, it is what it is. Now we have another, you know, business branded pen. Very thick pen. I think I had a stylus thing before and it came out, but it is what it is. I don't need that. In terms of writing, pretty good, I guess. Pretty smooth, not too jagged. Yeah, this one looked nice. The Bic Atlantis Ultra Comfort. And then I put it in my hands and oh my god. That is Ultra Comfort indeed. Very squishy, very nice. I also thought it was going to be blue. I don't remember if it was blue. No, it's not blue. It's black. Sad. But yeah, pretty nice. Feels very good in the hand. Pretty smooth experience. So, yeah. The bag is now empty, and this is the last pen. I did not purposefully leave this as the last pen. It just was. It is very fancy looking with the stylus. Very thick and hefty. Very clicky, clocky. And then you get to writing, and maybe I accidentally did save the best for last. Not the best, per se, but that is a solid pen. One of the best for sure. So this is the tier list portion of this video, I guess. Or one of the tier list portions. These are all of the pens that got eliminated from that first test, so they won't be going to the next 2 tests. But we're just going to be doing a little mini test on a notebook, which is a slightly different texture, and then putting them on the tier list. And next, or first, is this like teal greenish Sharpie. Doesn't really show up on paper very well. And again, the little blotches at the corners. For this tier list in specific, it's in the after. Then we have this Papermate pen, very standard, cheap pen. You know, if you just need a pen, it's not too bad. But you know, it's not good at all. So also going in the F tier. It's just not a very good pen. The paper is very nice. The paper makes every pen feel nice for the most part, but it's just nothing that I would actively seek out as a pen. This next one, I don't even really know what brand this is. I didn't show it to the camera. I think it's like a Pentel, I believe. Most of these are Pentel. Not a bad pen. Pretty average. Yeah. This is like a hotel pen. Blue pen. Very nice. And it has blue branding and it's blue, I think. Can't really tell, to be honest. I forgot. I'm pretty sure it's blue. Not too good. This one, just another business branded pen. Not really sure what the brand that makes the pen is, but yeah, it's okay. Pretty average. I like the clicky pens more than like the ones with the caps, just for convenience, but yeah. This is a Energel pen that is pink, not because the ink is pink, but I guess for breast cancer awareness, which is why I had that little ribbon on it. Also pretty standard pen. Next up is this Foray pen, one of 2 Foray pens, even though I've never heard of that brand before. Overall, not bad, not good. And then that happened, and that was crazy. It just shot out like a rocket, but you know, it is what it is. Next up is this Frion pen. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I don't even know if it's in French or whatever. But yeah, this pen is not good. I don't like it. It writes pretty bad on even this smooth paper. Not very good. Next is this IBS tax services pen. I like the build quality. The writing is pretty average, but yeah. Then we have this like more green Sharpie. I think it's green. This one shows up a lot better on the paper, so it goes higher. But for this test, it's still not very good. Next up is this Elegant White. I don't remember. It's like a calligraphy pen. Just for the versatility, I'm putting it into the C's here. In terms of being a marker, it's pretty nice, but you know, nothing too crazy. Next up is this Tool pen, which is a more fine tip pen, but it is kind of scratchy feeling on most papers. And so because of that, we're putting it into the B tier. Because to be honest, I like fine tip points, but this one just doesn't feel that good. So a little bit lower. Next up is this Jetstream pen, which is a blue pen. Not too bad, not very good, pretty average experience. Most of these are going into C tier. That's just the way it is. Then we have this Twisty pen, has pretty much no branding on it, besides that little tiny sticker. Yeah, the build quality is pretty decent. The writing experience is somewhat smooth on some papers, but on the last paper, where it was a little rougher, it kind of felt bad, and so it's going in the D tier. Then we have another Energel pen. I think we did one before, but it was slightly different actually, the pink one. Yeah, this one, I like it. It's pretty good, pretty smooth. You know, as long as the ink is coming out correctly, it's nice. Then this Arteza pen, which I'd never heard of before. was actually kind of decent. You know, I for some reason I saw this brand and I was like, probably gonna be pretty cheap, but not bad. Then a big pen, very standard. You know, nothing too crazy about it. Very cheap feeling pen. Next up is another business branded thing. I liked the design of it overall, but in terms of the writing, it feels pretty bad. I'm not going to lie, in my personal opinion. Next up is a Staples Sonics gel pen, which I love the sound of that little clicky thing. I don't know if that's because it's broken, but I like the way it sounds, but damn, does it not write at all. So that's going in the F tier automatically. And I couldn't even put it in the F tier because it doesn't write. Next is Papermate Inkjoy Gel Pen, which I used to like these kinds of pens, but overall, not as much as I thought, I guess. I guess I've found a lot more pens now, and it's not at the top anymore. These ones I also liked a lot, the Pilot G2 pens, but for some reason I found out that I don't like them as much. They're a little bit rough on the paper that we used them on. Not very good. This was like a resort pen, I think, like L Horizon. Pretty nice feeling pen. I like the twist on this pen because it clicks, but the cap pens I do not like. So this is a very standard big pen. You get like 100 for 2 cents. I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, it's what you'd expect from something like that. Come on. It's big. A little cheap big pen. You're not going to get too much from it. This is the True Red pen, which is not red, and it's not true. They lied. They lied about it being red. It's black. So, complete false advertising, but, you know, pretty standard writing experience. Then we have this FedEx Office pen, which has interesting colors, but the writing experience is not as interesting. D tier. Then this pen, which has no English branding really, just that word, Bellingham. I can't even see it. I barely put it in the camera for half a second. This cap did not come with it. I just found it and put it on there, so it didn't dry up. So it's very hard to take off. But yeah, pretty fine tip pen. I like that, but nothing too special. Like I said, this pen does not go with this pen, or does not go with this cap. Then we have another Papermate Inkjoy Gel Pen, the black version. Like I said, I used to like these pens. I still like them. They're still pretty good pens, but no longer as high as I thought. I did put this one a little bit below the other one, I think, which is interesting, but yeah. And then the repeat, sad. It brought us to 55, technically, but we're at 54 because of the repeat, so we're not going to put that in the list. Then there's this old Disney pen that I found. Kind of disappointing experience writing with it. I like the design. It's cool. Disney. But doesn't feel very good on the paper. So that is all of the pens that got eliminated in that round. And so now we will move on to the next round with these top 25. Okay, so for this next round, we're going to be using this book, The Little Mouse, The Red Ripe Strawberry, The Big Hungry Bear, to get words from to use for this next thing. So we're starting with this first page, and we're just going to write it word by word, a different pen for each word, and test them that way. So this is the first pen now, and I will let it play out. So this was my favorite pen from this test, so we're just going to use it to finish off the sentence on this page, just because I want to. Okay, and that is the second test concluded. Okay, so here we are, back with the tier list once again. So now we're going to do those next 15 that got eliminated after that test. So this is up first, the Signo pen, I believe. So a quick little writing test again, and that is going into the D tier. How I made it this far, I'm not really sure, but yeah, not very good. Then the Staples pen, also not very good overall. Just the pen build and stuff like that, nothing I could recommend too much. Then this one, which I actually could recommend pretty decently because it goes in the C tier along with a lot of other more expensive pens, but these are so cheap. So, pretty good pen for the price. Then we have one of these, which actually made it to the next round without the other two colors of the same pen, but ended up in the tier list at the same spot, so makes sense, I guess. Then this one with the very squishy, what do you call it, finger pad thing. Overall, the pen, very nice. The writing experience, nothing too crazy. Then this one that just had the S at the top. I like the build. I like the look of it, but I do not like the writing experience. Then just this branded one for the Columbia Community Center or something. Pretty decent pen. I like the build, but pretty average writing experience. Then it is the Sharpie S Gel pen. This is the green one, I believe. The color is very nice, but the writing experience is not too crazy. Then there was this Lala Jewels pen, which looks very nice. I don't like the twisting of the front piece to get the pen out, and the writing is okay. Next up is this CSUSB pen, which I really liked the experience of on the first test. On the second test, though, wasn't too, what do you call it, surprising, I guess, because the pen, or the paper, was a lot smoother, so, yeah. Then this next one, another branded one, pretty good. I like the build of it. Experience pretty nice. B tier. Then this one, because of the versatility of having that light available and just the overall build quality, it is also going in the B tier, even though it is going into the A tier because of that. But if we're going just based off of the writing, it would be in B, but because of the light and stuff, it's going in A. Then this next one, also pretty decent writing experience. I like it. I don't like the twist again, but the click is nice, and the writing is pretty good. Then the other Pilot G2 pen now made it to the next round, and it's a pretty good pen. I think I put the blue one a little bit below it, the C tier, but that's just because I think black is more versatile as a pen color. Then for the Sharpie, pretty good. As a pen, I think you would need it to be the black color, otherwise it doesn't really work that much, but yeah, I like it. And then this Los Angeles pen, very nice build quality, very hefty. I like the clip, and it writes pretty smooth. So there you go. Okay, so for this last test, we are going to be using this book and the last 10 pens, and we're going to be doing one sentence from this book for each of the pens. And that will be the final test. Okay, to bring the notebook back, this is again a pretty smooth paper, so they should all be on a level playing field in that sense. So I'm just going to flip to a random page and get a random sentence from it. And the first pen that will be going in this test is going to be, okay, and for this test, I think because the paper was so smooth, and the mic was a little far away. Can't really hear the writing sounds as much, so I'm just going to overlay some writing sounds with each of the pens as well. And the next one is this profile ball pen by Papermate. I lost the sentence. Pretty good pen. Very nice. Very smooth. Okay, next up is the Uniball Vision Elite. is all of these sentences for the top 10 pens. Okay, and now for the final tier list additions. First is the Uniball pen, the blue one, which is going into A tier. Then the black one, also going into the A tier. Next was the blue profile ball pen, A tier. Then the black profile ball pen, A tier. Then the, I think this is the blue Sharpie S Gel pen, A tier. Then this security pen, also A tier. Then was this 4A medium point pen, which surprisingly enough got into the A tier for being a cap pen. I was pretty surprised. Then we get to the Uniball Vision Elites, which both are going into the S tier. I just like the thickness and vibrancy of the pens, and they also feel pretty good, but the 805 title takes the title for my favorite pen out of these 55, technically 54 pens. So yeah, that is the end of this thing. So these pens, very good. The Uniball Vision Elites, I really like them. This 805 title pen, I don't know what the brand of it is. If you're able to find it, leave it in the comments below, I guess, because I really like this pen. Then these Uniball pens, I don't really know what they're called. Also pretty good pens, pretty cheap, I think too. Then these profile ball pens, surprisingly very nice, very smooth. This security pen, don't know the brand, but pretty good. This 4A one was very surprising, really nice. Then the S-Gel pens were pretty good. And yeah, that is the end of this writing, testing, and rating video. So I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, let me know if you have any other ideas for future videos that we can do. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like. It helps me out a lot. And if you got this far, thank you so much. And consider subscribing to be able to see all my future